Hey everyone, Tak here. Tak Trivia. One of my favourite bands is Alkaline Trio, and they recently released a new album, the first one in 5 years. So I thought I'd do a bit of a sort of review video to sort of, if there's any sort of casual fans or even like massive Alkaline Trio fans that still have somehow not managed to give the album a listen and whether they think they should. I thought I'd do this sort of video to my breakdown. Hopefully maybe give any sort of idea to whether you guys want to check it out yourselves. So without further ado, Tak talks the new Alkaline Trio album. Roll the title card! Is this thing cursed? If it is, then I'm the jerk who keeps on hanging. Okay, first up is the title track opening, obviously called Is This Thing Cursed? The beginning I thought was very sort of reminiscent to like the opening of a punk opera, very much like Mechanical Romance's The BLACKBIRD. There's a sort of a slow piano build-in to one big massive sort of kick-starter of a song. The main song itself, first thing that came to mind, I thought was sort of very sort of post sort of American Idiot Green Day, with a lot of sort of the rock opera, the punk opera feel to it. The sort of it sounds like a very similar chord structure. And straight away we get some typical sort of Alkaline Trio lyrical poetry, just to think of a couple. Burn it to the ground, maybe it's some kind of spell that I've been living under, collecting coins found near Nightmare, wishing well. And there's also the word dismemberment is also used, which is if you're into sort of Alkaline Trios or sort of like dark persona and dark imagery, then this album clearly has a lot of that to keep you satisfied as well. Also very, I know how to describe it, sort of interesting harmonies in the song. When I sing a song, I like to try and harmonise, like let's give the harmonies a go, and I can't do it. I don't know what Matt does with the harmonies, but it's freaking genius. So sort of interesting to listen to that bit as well. Overall, it's a great song to kick off the album. Nice slow build in. Sort of a nice intro of the things to expect from the album. Second song on the album, Blackbird. First thing that came to mind with the opening guitar and the sort of overall sound is that musically, if there was such a thing as a grindhouse spy movie, then this is what I imagine the soundtrack would sound like. A few lyrics in the song as well that sort of bring about that sort of secret spy espionage sort of imagery. The thing that most notably comes to mind is there's the mention of For Your Eyes Only, which, in case you didn't know, is the name of a James Bond film. Also, for those who are familiar with Alkaline Trio stuff and Matt's writing, usually when there's a few songs that he writes, if he's sort of, I don't know, comes across as sort of jaded or disenchanted where a woman is concerned, and there's a certain style of lyrics that he adapts to that, to his subject, and this song is very much like some of the other stuff he's done there. I mean, the character or the woman that Matt sings about in this song comes across very like femme fatale sort of character. Again, something associated with noir or spy. Typical example from the song is from the chorus: leave me here to collect my things, she sees music in the terror she brings. So something lyrically there that Alkaline Trio fans will be familiar with if those are the sort of songs, Alkaline Trio songs, that are your thing. Next up, song number 3, Demon and Division, which probably opens, I can safely say, as a fan of the band, probably opens with the most Alkaline Trio line that I think probably ever exists. I got some poison on the brain. So this song's a little bit softer, reminds me a little bit of Help Me in some ways, sort of more sort of pop arena rock, sort of almost the type of song where you want to wake up on a Monday morning and needs a bit of a kick, but nothing too much to irritate that hangover that you've had over the weekend. So that's the sort of general sort of feeling of that song. It's catchy though. I mean, a lot of these songs on this album, I can't think of one uncatchy song. They've all sort of stayed in my ear, in my brain. And next up is a song called Lil Help. This very upbeat. First thing, the general feel of it that came to my mind was, it reminded me of one of those sort of drunken shindig sing-along songs, you know, where you're holding your beer and it's slopping everywhere and you're tapping your knee and, you know, and would sound that could probably start off a barroom brawl. So it'd be great to sing along to in that sort of environment. That is, if you could control your slur with the tight squeezed lyrical rhythm that Dan sings in. So that would be fun. Next, I'm going to open with a quote that of Matt when was asked about the writing process of the album. He said, "I really feel like we made a record that the old school fans are going to dig." Now, more on that later, but it's something worth mentioning when I talk about the next track. I Can't Believe is probably the most vintage sounding ALK3 track on the album. Very, very close to Time to Waste musically, lyrically as well. I mean, just look at the lyric, "Nobody to hear your Black Swan song," and fuck off, Portman. Again, there's sort of that grindhouse, sort of dark, grindhousey instrumental sort of undertones in there as well. So I think that's a track that a lot of Alkaline Trio fans are going to be very happy with. Next up is the song Sweet Vampires. For a moment, I gotta be honest, I thought I'd accidentally switched on a track by one of Matt's other projects, and not that one. Go away. Other projects being Matt Skiba and The Secrets. Mostly, like, in particular the song Voices. It has a very sort of Matt Skiba, Skiba-esque, Skibery in both lyrical content and musical content. And Sweet Vampires is probably one of the most Alkaline Trio titles they've probably ever done, and with good reason, because it's a damn good song. Next up we have the Dan-fronted Blue Pale Ribbon, which, again, like a couple of Dan songs on this album, is sort of very sort of drunk punk party shindig get it together song. But this one was sort of reminded me more of sort of Nimrod era Green Day. Very catchy, and it's something that moves the album along lovely. Next we have Goodbye Fire Island, a song that Matt apparently wrote about a festival that he performed at with one of his other bands. Come on. Yes, that one. Good. As you can tell by the song, it's clear he didn't have a good time with it. There's dark imagery again, Alkaline Trio, something you expect. It portrays well the hell that Skiba felt like he was in when him and Blink were there. More, albeit subtle, grindhousey guitars, catchy, and portrays the subject and his feeling of that experience really well. Almost like I was almost there. I wasn't. Would have been cool if I was, but I wasn't. But I feel it, you know, and that's what something that I feel Alkaline Trio do so well, is to project those emotions onto you. Also, there's definite shades in the song of Ruin It from their album Irony and Agony as well. So, I mean, long-term fans are going to possibly recognise a lot of elements from that as well. Okay, next up, if their song Every Thug Needs a Lady from their Good Morning album was this sort of big summer blockbuster of a song, then the next track, Stay, would probably be its slightly lighter, straight-to-video sequel. That's not to diminish from the quality of the track at all. It's very much that to-the-point, realistic yet extremely emotional love song that Dan does so well. I can definitely see the influence of another one of my favourite bands, the Smoking Popes, sort of underlying the track a little bit as well, which is always good for me, which made me give it extra marks. So even though it's probably not the heaviest song on the album, it is what it is, and it is what it is so damn well. And it sort of smoothly transists to the next song very, very nicely, which is Heart Attacks. Not really much I can say on this song that I haven't already said on other songs. Has a bit of a sort of mid-era Alkaline Trio feel to it, which isn't a bad thing, which can be a good thing depending on what sort of stuff you like. Very catchy. Another earworm that ALK3 seemed to master so well. I mean, the song, it'll have you singing this song for ages to come. Next up, Worn So Thin. Another Dan-fronted song. Musically, you can, again, sort of, if you're a fan of Smoking Popes, you can see a lot of that influence in the verses. Then they sort of come back to that very sort of Nimrod-esque Green Day sort of style and feel for the chorus. Dan's coarser and punkier vocal style complements the content of the song very well. Next up is probably personally my favourite song on the album, Throw Me to the Lions. Fans of The Good Morning and Crimson Ear, the band, should love this fast-paced, familiar song. There's a lot of hints of sort of there From Here to Infirmary stuff as well. Familiar lyric patterns in the verse. I personally think that this song is going to be a favourite on their playlist for a good few years to come. So definitely, if there's one song that you check out on the album, it's that one. And that brings us to the last song on the album, Crystalline. Crystalline wouldn't sound out of place on My Shame Is True. Reminded me a lot of the song Midnight Blue from that album, albeit a more sort of stripped back a little, dynamic wise. Think Blue in the Face. There you go. It's a very blue song. It's like if Blue in the Face and Midnight Blue had a baby and named it Crystalline. Lyrically, Crystalline also sort of reminds you a lot from the My Shame Is True album of Kiss You to Death, so there's something familiar there for you guys as well, and it's catchy for those reasons. Also, like a lot like of Stay and songs in the past, like Every Thug Needs a Lady, and most of that My Shame Is True album. It's very emotional. I think it's very realistic, without being depressing. So there you have them. Those are my thoughts on the new Alkaline Trio album. This is Thing Cursed. Love to know what you all think of the album. What's your favourite song? What's your favourite Alkaline Trio song in general, album in general? Put the comment section below. I'd love to have a chat with you guys about it. Also, would love for you guys to subscribe, as I plan on doing more videos soon, so there's going to be a lot of new content there. And until then, tack out.